Anybody else like wash their face and feel like their skin breaks out even more? Please tell me why that is, because it is so annoying. I'm like so bad at washing my face, and then the past like week I've tried to be really good about it and wash my face every day, and now I'm breaking out. So it's just lovely. What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. I'm super excited. Today I'm going to be talking about the 22 books, the top 22 books that I want to read in 2022, because obviously I want to read more than 22 books, but these are the 22 books that I am prioritizing for the year and just really want to get through. I am so excited about all of these. I've been dying to read some of these for like years. So hopefully 2022 is the year that I read them all, because my list last year, I did not succeed. So, you know, but it's a new year. We're gonna do it this year. I have high hopes. Forewarning, I am trying to prioritize books that I already own. Reading, I'm really trying to tackle my physical TBR. So I picked the majority of the 22 of books that I already own. I think, yeah, only 5 of them I don't own. So we will talk about the unowned ones at the end, I think. Do I want to do it at the end or now? Let's do them now. Let's just hit those 5 right now, and then we'll go into the rest that I own. Before we get into that, if you guys are not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe down below. It's super easy, it's free, and I would really appreciate it. I make all kinds of content over here, majority book content because I'm a bookworm, but I'm open to anything. Feel free to leave suggestions in the comments. I love just creating content in general. So if there's something you want to see, let me know and I'll work it into the schedule. But anyways, now let's get into the books. So first book that I want to talk about that I do not own is 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle. Look at me being smart. Anyways, I'm super excited to read this one. This is basically like a time loop book. So I think there's like 8 witnesses or suspects or something, and each day this person wakes up in, or I shouldn't say each day, at the start of the same day for 8 days, they wake up in like someone else's body from their perspective, and they're trying to figure out, you know, what happened to Evelyn. I don't know what the 7.5 deaths mean, but every day obviously she dies and they're trying to figure out who did it. You know, it's kind of like a whodunit moment. I love those. So that is definitely one of my top 22. Another one is House of Leaves. I don't know the author of this one, but I have heard that this is like the scariest book of all time. I feel like I'm such a baby and I shouldn't read this book, but I'm just very intrigued. The format of this book is really strange. I've seen it in the bookstore all the time. And it's like some of the pages are like upside down. Some of them, it literally has one word on it. Sometimes you read the page like diagonally. Like it just like, I don't know. The format of the book just makes it 10 times more interesting. So I definitely want to read that one this year. Another one is The Atlas 6. This one I don't know much about, to be honest. I was going to buddy read it with Sydney over at Sydney Page Books last year, like at the end of last year. And it didn't work out because I didn't end up buying the book. So hopefully I will get around to that at some point, but I do think I'm gonna end up loving that one. I've heard nothing but amazing things about it, so I am pumped for that one. The 4th book is Ugly Love by Colleen Hoover. I see this float around everywhere. It's all over Book Talk, Instagram, BookTube. It's everywhere, and I really just want to get my hands on it. I only have one book by Colleen Hoover, and It Ends With Us, and I'm planning on reading that this month, but I just really want to read Ugly Love because everybody loves that book. So that's one. And then the last book that I want to read that I do not own is A Discovery of Witches. This one I've been wanting to read for probably like 2 years. Like I just really have wanted to get to this one, and I don't own it, so I haven't been able to get to it. But yes, I really do want to at some point buy that book this year. I almost bought it the other day, but I didn't. Another book took its spot. Yeah, so those are the 5 books that I do not own that I really want to get to this year. And now the rest of the book, 17 to be exact, I have sitting right here that we're going to talk about that I really want to get to this year. And we're going to see. I don't know. Check back in with me at the end of the year and I'll tell you how I did. First things first, I want to read The Beautiful by Renee Addier. This is actually one of the book club picks for Sydney and I's book club. So if you would like to join our book club, I will link it in the description. It's literally just an Instagram page. You just follow it, you join our book club. We pick 2 book picks every single month, and then there are live shows at the end of the month to discuss the books. One live show on my channel, one live show on hers. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to be talking about this one at the end of the month. So I'm really excited about that, but this has been on my TBR for like a year. So I'm really excited that it is a pick and that I do get to read it. Pretty sure there's some vampires. There's a serial killer something. I don't know, but I'm excited. I'm pretty sure I'm reading this next week, so I'm extra excited. So yes, I do want to prioritize this one. Okay, next up I have Winter's Orbit. Yes, I still have the stickers on this. I just bought this. This is by Everina Maxwell. I do want to read this one. This is a sci-fi. To be honest, I don't know much about this one either, but I've been wanting to read this one for probably like 6 to 8 months, I want to say. I saw this on someone talked about this on one of their channels, and it just really intrigued me, and I really want to get to it, and I love this cover also. So this one I think will be fun. I think my husband wants to get into this one too, so maybe we can read it and talk about it together. We'll see. Okay, next up is The Vanishing Stair by Maureen Johnson. This is the second book in the Truly Devious series, and I read the first one and loved it, so I obviously want to continue the series. A lot of these books, I shouldn't say a lot of these books, a few of these books are definitely a continuation of series, so keep that in mind. Yeah, so Vanishing Stair, definitely want to get to it. Next up I have Thunderhead by Neil Schutzerman. This is the second book in the Arc of Scythe trilogy, so this one I just really want to get back to this world. I love this. It's a dystopian feel where these scythes are this is basically a world with no war, no death, no disease, nothing. Like nobody dies. But these scythes are basically responsible for controlling the population. So they have to do a number of kills per week in order to, you know, control the population, as said. So yeah, it's very interesting. Sometimes dystopian is exactly what I need. So I do want to get to this. And I think this is another one this month. I hope, if I can stick to my reading plans this month. Next up is Bunny by Mona Awad. A lot of these books, actually, if you watched my last video, before that, my January TBR, a lot of these a lot of these books that I'm talking about was on my January TBR. That took a minute. But yeah, Bunny by Mona Awad. I've heard this is very creepy, very weird, disturbing, and I kind of love it. So I'm very excited about this one. Next up, this is the second pick for our book club. It is Starfish by Akemi Dawn Bowman. Super excited about this one. Forewarning, there is a bunch of trigger warnings for this one, so make sure to look those up before reading this book. For anybody who is participating in the book club and is planning on reading this book, there's a lot, I've heard. So super excited about this one. Basically, kind of like a self-discovery is what it sounds like. So I love that. Next up, we have a chunker. We have a chunker, you guys, and it is Plain Bad Heroines by Emily M. Danforth. This one is basically just about some strange murders, I guess, that happened like 100 years before, you know, this takes place. And it basically is like just these strange murders that happened at the school. And then like 100 years later, I don't know if it's 100, I could just be making that up, but they want to make a movie about these things that have happened, and it all may be coming back to them. So, you know, maybe some more people will die. I'm not really sure. I haven't read it yet, but I want to. And then next up, I would love to read Little Thieves by Margaret Owen. This is the gorgeous Illumicrate version of this book. I seriously am obsessed. Wow. This is like one of the very few special edition books that I even own. So yeah, so I really just want to read this because I want to be able to read one of my special editions this year, and this one just sounded most interesting. It's a fantasy, so, you know, it even starts with Once Upon a Time There Was a Horrible Girl. Done. Count me in. And next up, I have Starsight by Brandon Sanderson. This is the second book in the Skyward trilogy series. I'm not really sure how long it's going to go for, but I absolutely loved Skyward when I read it last year, so I really do want to continue this series. I just bought the third book too, so I'm hoping to get through all of the series, but I only included this one on the list. So definitely want to get to this. Okay, and we have 8 more left. Let's hit through them really quick. The next one is The Crown of Gilded Bones by Jennifer L. Armentrout. This one I have read, obviously, both 2 books before this. This is the third book in the From Blood and Ash series. A Shadow in the Ember is also out, but I need to read this one first, obviously. So I do want to prioritize this one. It is a chunker. It's huge. It's over 600 pages, I believe. Yeah, over 600 pages. So this will take me a bit to get through, but I think it's going to be a great time. I have loved the first 2 books, and honestly, so far they've just gotten better. So I have high hopes for this one. Next, if you guys have been on my channel for a long time, you guys are probably sick and tired of seeing this book being prioritized. That never happens, but it is Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor. I have wanted to read this for like 2 years, and I've been horrible at getting to it. I did get, the last time I read this, I got to page 8, but I just was not in the right headspace. It is a little bit more of a lyrical type of writing, and sometimes I'm really not always, you know, in the mood for that. But I do want to read this year because everybody who reads it really does love it. So I do want to get to this. It's just a matter if I can get my crap together and do it. Next up, I have Wicked Fox by Cat Cho. This one, I don't know. I don't know what it is about this one that just intrigues me so much. The cover, for one, is gorgeous, but this is like a love story romance about, I'm pretty sure, a girl, and she's like half fox and she's supposed to feed off of humans, but then she meets this boy and, you know, everything changes. And those are just stories that I love. So I think I'm gonna enjoy this. I want to be able to like get this one and the next one read. I think it's called Vicious Spirits, but you know, we're gonna, you know, hone in the expectations, you know, just set a lower expectation as I'm naming off 22 books that I want to read. Okay, next up we have Tokyo Ever After by Amico Jean. This one I am super excited for. This is a love story. I think it's about a girl who, you know, is not American enough, but also not like Chinese enough. I think, is it Japanese American? So she is never American enough and she's also never Japanese enough. And, you know, there's a prince involved. She finds out she's a princess, and then there's a prince involved, and, you know, princes and princesses, royalty. That sounds like a magical time to me. So I do want to read this one as well. Almost done. We're almost done, guys. Project Hail Mary. This is the next one. I am really, really wanting to read a lot of sci-fi this year. This one I've heard great things about. This cover gives me Interstellar vibes really bad, and it kind of has Interstellar feels, but basically he goes on this mission to save humanity, and I'm down. I think it's going to be good. I think I'm going to read this while listening to the Interstellar soundtrack because that sounds like a blast. And next up we have Mexican Gothic by Silvia Moreno Garcia. Yes, there's still a sticker. I just bought it. I've been wanting to read this for a super, super long time. I have heard mixed things about this book, so I am a little bit nervous, but I think it'll be good. I've heard this one is definitely creepy, so should be fun. We'll see. Maybe we'll have a great time. And then second to last, we have My Dark Vanessa by Kate Elizabeth Russell. This one is very dark, so I've heard, but I am very, very intrigued and excited to read this one. I think it's like a survival story, is it? Maybe? I don't know. I didn't read much into this. It's just, I went with the hype, okay? That's what I tend to do. If it's hyped, I'm going for it. So that's that one. And lastly, this is technically a reread, but I haven't read it since the 8th grade, so it might feel fresh and new again. But it is The Book Thief by Marcus Zuzak. I just want to read this again because I remember reading it in the 8th grade and absolutely loving it. It is a chunker. It's pretty huge, but I just remember loving like every second of this book. And I just want to go back so bad. So I'm trying to prioritize it this year. I wanted to get to it last year and it didn't work out. So I just love this edition. Like, but yeah, so I'm very, very excited to get to this one, and I really hope it works out. But yeah, those are the 22 whole books that I would like to read in 2022. These aren't all the books that I want to read. These are just the ones that I really feel like I need to get to. I'm very excited about all of them, and so far my January TBR is starting off very, very strong with a lot of these books in there. So I think it's gonna be good. I think it's gonna work out. But yeah, that is pretty much everything for this video. Once again, if you would like to join our book club, I will leave the Instagram linked in the description box down below. Feel free to follow and just come with us and read some books. We would love to have you. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video, and let me know if you are reading any of these books this year also, and maybe let me know when you're planning on reading it, and maybe we can have a little buddy read action going on. I would really love that. So yeah, I love you guys so, so much, and I will see you in my next video.